Hi, my name is Erica, and I am almost 5 years sober. And one of the things that I used in my recovery journey was books. When I got sober, I said to myself, if I have a book by my bedside table every night to read, I can hang on for one more day. And so, because books were such a powerful part of my recovery journey, I am sharing with you some of the books that I read during that time. If you didn't see it already, I did a part one. Today is part two of some of the books that I read within the first 6 months or so or definitely within the first year of me getting sober. I love to share these. Number one, because I love sobriety memoirs. I love the way a book can be such an assistant for you. But number two, I love to show love to these authors that put their heart and souls into these books. So go watch part one. This is part two of some of the books I read while getting sober. Okay, let's see here. I already did The Luckiest Club, which was Laura McKowen's book. This is Laura McKowen's second book, Push Off From Here, 9 Essential Truths to Get You Through Sobriety and Everything Else. Laura McKowen founded The Luckiest Club. Google it. It's a great place. It is the organization that I was a part of to get sober, where I went to meetings every day and just found so much beautiful community and was able to, for the first time, see there are people just like me living normal lives that are struggling with this, and that's okay. And Laura is just such an incredible writer. So of course, when she wrote her second book, I had to pick it up immediately, and I cannot wait for her third, which she's working on now. This is the epitome of a sobriety memoir, Drinking Games, a memoir by Sarah Levy. She is just your sort of modern day, girl that was struggling with her alcohol problem, yet living her life day to day. Some people didn't even realize she had a problem. But this is a great memoir. She's a great writer. Just sort of the kind of thing where you're going to read it and find yourself relating to some of it at least. And then also really feeling for her as she steps towards sobriety and understand the feelings that she went through in making that decision. This is another one I really enjoyed, Glorious Rock Bottom, Breonna Gordon. In this one, she actually talks a little bit. She also had issues with some drug use, which was not a problem for me, but a lot of times, people deal with these things together. And Breonna is a beautiful writer as well. I know I keep saying that about all these books, but I really enjoyed reading this book. It was easy to get through, and by the end you're cheering her on. And honestly, one of the best things I love about these memoirs is that by the end of these memoirs, the writers have reached that goal of becoming sober, and you also feel empowered to reach that goal yourself. And so really recommend this one. Another memoir, I'm really going hard on the memoirs right now, Smashed, Story of a Drunken Girlhood. It's funny because I remember seeing this book in the bookstore, like a Barnes & Noble back in the day, like maybe 15, 20 years ago. And I always saw the cover. And, back then I wasn't interested in exploring my drinking issues, even though I did have them way back when. But I remembered this book. I said, what was that book I used to see on the bookshelves? And so just honestly, probably less than a year ago, I was searching, and I knew the cover I was looking for, and I found it because I thought this must have been a bestseller because it was out there everywhere. And it really was. This girl is a great writer. I do think this one, there were parts where it kind of got a little bit into the weeds where she could have left some stuff out. But again, I just really enjoyed reading about her experience and how she overcame. A couple that I want to suggest from friends of mine. Well, not friends of mine, sorry. 2 of these are from a friend of mine. Downstairs Church and You Are Not Your Trauma by Caroline Beidler. She is a therapist, and she's been in recovery for 12, 13 years. And she's written these 2 wonderful books that she actually self-published, although she does have a traditional publishing deal for her third book. I absolutely love the name of this book, Downstairs Church, because she's talking about AA. And one of the things that I always say is that church needs to be more like AA. Now, I didn't really attend AA, so to speak. I did attend a lot of meetings, though, through the Luckiest Club, which is very similar to AA. And what I love about those meetings is that everyone is just so raw and so honest immediately right from the get-go. And there's no judgment. And I wish we could create an environment within our churches, which some churches have, where that's okay, where people show up and they're just who they are, and in their mess and in their muck. And so Downstairs Church, finding hope in the grit of addiction and trauma recovery, recommend this one. And then You Are Not Your Trauma, which is her book specifically dealing with family. So it's, the subtitle here is Uproot Unhealthy Patterns and Heal the Family Tree. So if you have issues within your family as they relate to alcohol, which so many of us do, that's where they come from, this is another good one to try. As I was researching for my book, I found this extremely helpful. The Heart of Recovery, How Compassion and Community Offer Hope in the Wake of Addiction by Deborah and David Bedeau. I think any church should read this, or if you're in a ministry or you are part of a volunteer group with a ministry, I think this is really, really helpful, because one thing I've learned in doing this work over the past few years is that there are so many people hiding in your churches that would never tell you, that you may never know have a problem, but we need to be aware so that we can be a resource, so that we can be the voice for those who are afraid to talk or don't know how to even come out about it. So highly recommend this one. This cover got messed up on the back, but Quitter, A Memoir of Drinking, Relapse, and Recovery. Another one of those just like solid memoirs, but a really, really good one. I found the writing really good and the recovery story at the end very empowering. So if you're looking for any more memoirs, definitely pick this one up by Erica C. Barnett. And then lastly for now is a book called Intoxicating Lies by Meg Geisweit. She wrote and self-published this. I know because a friend of mine worked with her. But it's a really good, relatable book of someone who is a mom, a woman in the working world, that just things got out of control for her. And she was able to get curious, use her resources, and find a pathway to sobriety that works for her. And so this is another one that I read while getting sober, and also just felt really, even though I don't know Meg, it always makes me feel really proud when I see a writer be like, I have a story to tell and I'm going to do it. So she did it. And I've heard her on a podcast talk about how she's really been able to get this book out there. She has tons of reviews, which is hard to get, especially when you're self-published. So Intoxicating Lies, One Woman's Journey to Freedom from Gray Area Drinking. So many of us struggle with that. So I will probably hit you back up with a part 3 once I'm able to go through my book collection, because I pretty much keep all of my books. I don't like to throw books away. But thank you so much for watching. If you have not seen part 1, go to that. If you've seen part 1 and part 2, or you just want to recommend more books, please, please, please leave a comment. I would be so grateful if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. Trying to build this thing up, it's hard. I'm not a video editor, but I'm here to provide information, and I want to be here for you and just talk to you about the tips and tricks I used after struggling for more than 15 years with drinking, how I was able to stop drinking and do it in a way that worked for me, and hopefully it will work for you. And now I'm about to hit 5 years. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to talking soon.